Hello there. Welcome you all to SlickLearning tutorial. Today we are going to learn one of the important topic in mathematics. We are going to see what is significant figures and decimal places, and at the last how to estimate the numbers. So our first topic that we are going to see the decimal places. So decimal places that can be also written in the short form, that is DP. Second one that we have is significant figure, and we used to often denote it by SF. And the last one that we are going to learn is estimating, and that is also known as approximation. When there will be so many numbers in multiplications or in divisions, so we are going to estimate in that case. So let's see the first one. What is decimal places? Whenever the numbers are given up to so many decimal places, like 3 decimal places, 4 decimal places, but we need to round it off to make it more accurate up to a certain decimal places. So there we need to require the rounding of the digits up to a only given certain decimal places. Like we have terminating and non-terminating number. So when the number is non-terminating, we don't require infinite number of digits. We are concerned up to only certain number of digits. So let's see what are the rules we have to follow to find the decimal places up to a certain number. So here we are going to follow two basic rules. Those are here. First, we are going to count how many number of decimal places we are going to require, and the next one, after counting the number of digits, we are going to see what is the just next digit after the required number of digits. If the next digit after the required number of decimal places or required number of digits, we will see that if the number is less than 5, then we will leave the digits before it as it is. We are not going to make it any changes. And the second one, that is the most important one, is if the digit is either 5 or more, then we have to round it up the digit before it. We can understand it better with an example. So let's see the example. Here we have the decimal places up to 4 decimal places the question has given, but we are concerned with only up to 2 decimal places. So we are going to count first of all up to 2 decimal places. So we are going to count it. That comes 5.34 only. But just after 4, we are going to see that is the digit 7 here. Since 7 is more than 5, so we are going to make the changes in the last digit, that is 4. So we are going to change, or we are going to round it up, and we will add 4 to 1. Means we will add 4 plus 1. So that's going to be 5.35. So that is up to 2 decimal places. One thing you must have to note it down, like most of the students that they do the mistake is 5.35, and the last 2 digit they are going to write it 00. That is the wrong way of doing. Since if you are making it round to 00, now this answer is up to 4 decimal places. It is no more up to 2 decimal places. It is still up to 4 decimal places. So you are not going to round the left digits to 0. Just you will leave those digits. We are not going to write 5.3500. That's wrong. We are going to write only up to 2 decimal places. Let's see the next questions we have. Here again we have the question is up to 4 decimal places, but we are concerned with the up to only 2 decimal places. So we are going to count from the left side and up to 2 decimal places. And just we will see just to the right of 3. So when we are saying right to the 3, that is 1, and which is smaller than 5. So we are not going to make any changes to 3. So that is going to be 36.43 up to 2 decimal places. Let's have a few more examples. Here we have 0.0088 and we need to give the answer up to 2 decimal places. So let's see here we are going to count up to 0.00 and we are going to see just after 0 the number that is 8 which is greater than 5. So we are going to make the changes and we will increase 0 by 1. So it's going to be 0.01. So after increasing it, your final answer is going to be 0.01. Let's see furthermore. Here we have, again, we have to give the answer up to 2 decimal places. So here we have to count it, that is 126.20. And the digit that appears just after 0 is 4, which is lesser than 5. So we don't have to make any changes to 0. It will be as it is. So your answer is going to be 126.20. That is up to 2 decimal places. So you must have to keep the 0 in your answer. Suppose if you are going to write 126.2, then this answer is only up to 1 decimal places. It is not 2 decimal places. So you must have to consider 0 in your answer. Okay, let's move on. Here again you have to give the answer for 2 decimal places, but your question is only up to 3 decimal places. So let's try to round it. So here we have counted up to 27.99 and just before 8, or you can say after 9, the digit is more than 5. So we are going to increase 9 by 1. So after rounding it, you are getting it 28.00. You must have to include here 28.00 because we need answer up to 2 decimal places. Let's see the next example. Here we need to give the answer up to 3 decimal places. So again, we are going to count from the left side after decimal. We have 3 decimal places. So we are going to count 3 to 5. So 3 to 5. And the digit that appears fourth one means just after third decimal place is 4. So we are not going to make any changes and your answer is going to be here 49.325. That is up to 3 decimal places. Let's see the last example that we have. It is up to 4 decimal places. The question is we need to give the answer up to 3 decimal places. So let's see the things are. We'll count again from after the decimal and we are going to reach up to 879. The digit that appears after, just after 9, that is 8. So we are going to increase 9 by 1. So we'll increase 9 by 1. So that's going to be 7.880. That is correct up to 3 decimal places. Now it's your turn to assess your learning. So these are the questions that you can try by yourself. You may pause the videos and check your learning whether you are getting correct answer or not. Here we have the correct answer. So these are the answers you can match with your solutions. If you are getting the correct answer, then congratulations that you have learned very well. If not, you can watch this video again. Let's move on. The next topic we have, that is significant figure. Some time in the instructions it's written that you have to give the answers up to certain decimal places, but it's also include the up to a certain significant figures you need to give the answer. So we have certain rules to find out the significant figures of a given number. So let's see what are those rules. So first of all, we will be counting the digits up to how much significant figure the question is asking. And the next one is same as the decimal places since we are going to round it up. So if the digit is less than 5, we are going to leave as it is. If the digit is either 5 or more, you are going to round up the digit before it. We can understand it with an example. So let's see the few examples that we are going to see. Here we have correct. You need to give the answer correct to two significant figure. So before rounding it up, you have to understand how much significant figure right now it is. Right now it is 5 significant figure, but you need to round it up to 2 significant figure. One thing you need to note it down, when the number you're writing like a 1 0 0, so the last 3 zeros are not significant. So this one is one significant figure. If you are writing 2 5 0, right now it is 2 significant figure. So the last zeros is not significant. So let's move on to the solutions of these questions. So we are going to round it up to 2 significant figure. So we have counted from the left side and we are reaching at up to 5 3. We are seeing the digit just after 3, which is 8, and this is greater than 5. So we are going to round it up 3 to 4, and that's going to be rest of the digit. We are going to make it 0. So your final answer is going to be 54000, which one is 2 significant figure. As just I told you, the last 3 zeros are not significant, only 5 and 4. So that is why we are saying that this one is up to only 2 significant figure. Let's see more example. Here we have again 5 significant figure are there in the question, but we need to give the answer only up to 1 significant figure. So let's see the things are, we are going to round it up to 7, but just after 7 we are saying the digit is 6, which is greater than 5. So obviously we are going to add 1 to 7. So and rest of the digits are going to be 0. So 8 and 0 0 0 0. So that's going to be 8 0 0 0 0. Which one is only one significant figure we have here. Let's move on. Here again we have 4 significant figure, but we have to round it up to only 3 significant figures. So we will count up to 6.43, but after 3 the digit is 9, which is greater than 5. So obviously we have to add 1 to 3, and that's going to be 6.44. That is up to 3 significant figure. Now one thing you need to note it down here, if you are going to write it here 6.440, like in case of a non-decimal number, we have seen that last 0 is non-significant. But here, if you are going to write it, this one as 6.440, so it's going to be 4 significant figure. In case of a decimal number, the last zeros are significant. So we cannot write 6.440. So let's see the next example. You need to remember this rule. So let's see the next example. We have to give the answer up to 2 significant figure. And just after decimal, the digit which are zeros are not significant. Once again, in case of a decimal number, just after decimal, the digits which are zeros are not significant. So since 0 point, there are 2 zeros, so these are not significant. So this one is up to, it is having the 3 significant figure, but we have to give the answer up to 2 significant figure. So we are going to count up to 3 4. So we have counted the digits, we have to give the answer only up to 3, 4, and we are just looking at the number just after 4, that is 2, which is lesser than 5. So we are not going to make any changes, and finally your answer will be 0.034. Let's see the last example. Here again we have the question is 3 significant figure, but we have to give the answer up to 2 significant figure only. So we are going to round it again. So here it is, and since 5 is greater than 9 is greater than 5, so we are going to add 1 to 9. That's going to be 0.090. Again, you have to mind it, since just after non-zero number, whatever the zeros that you will be giving, that is a significant figure. So this one is a 2 significant figure. So this is the end of the significant figure concepts. Here we have some of the examples or the exercise questions that you can assess your learning so far. You can solve it, and in the bracket it's mentioned that up to how much significant figure you need to give your answer. So you can try it by yourself. You may pause the videos to solve these questions. Let's see the solutions of this. Here you have the solutions. You can see the solutions here. These are the solutions. You can match with your answers. Probably you got the correct answers. Congratulations. Let's move on to the last topic, that is approximation. So whenever we are having so many questions in our decimal places, so it's very difficult, it's a very time taking to multiply those decimal numbers or divide those decimal numbers. So what usually we do, we used to approximate those numbers to the nearest one significant figure, and then we are finding the approximate values. So let's see what are the rules we have to follow. So the first rule we have is we are going to round the given number up to one significant figure, and last one is the second rule is we have to make the calculations on the rounded numbers. Let's see with an example. Here we have 5.78 and multiplied with 2.14. So right now we have 3 significant figures in each of these two numbers. So we are going to round it up to one significant figure. So we are going to round it. That's going to be 5.78 going to be rounded to 6, and similarly 2.14 is going to be rounded to 2. Now we can easily multiply. We can replace this number by 6 and this number by 2, and we can easily multiply these two, and we are getting 12. So 12 is the approximate answer we have. Let's see the more example. So here we have to divide these two numbers. If you will divide it mentally, it will be very difficult and you may not be probably able to do. You need the calculator. But you can get the approximate answer very easily. So let's see right now, this one is a 5 significant figure, and this number is 3 significant figure, and we need to round it up to one significant figure. So 28 is approximate to the near one significant figure, that is 30, and 2.97 that is near to 3. So now we can easily divide 30 by 3, and here is your answer, that is 10. See more example. So here we have the fractions and the decimals, subtractions and multiplications. We will be repeating the same thing. 42.8, which is near to 40. So we are going to replace 42.8 with 40. Similarly, 40.4.11, which is near to 4, 3.22 near to 3, and 5.96, that is close to 6. So replace all these numbers by the approximate values, and here you are getting the replacement. After replacing, you can find the all these values easily. So 40 minus 4, that comes 36 over 18, and which is approximate to 2. Let's see the next one. Here you have to estimate the answer. Here first one is again 3 significant, and the next one is 4 significant figure. So let's 389 is near to one significant figure, that is 400. So, and the next one 813.7, which is near to 800, and the denominator part the 40.7, which is near to one significant figure, that is 4040. And now we will replace all this approximate value, and here we are getting, we can cancel it out, 40 with 400 by 10, and we can cancel 40 with 800, and that is 20. So now we have 10 times 20, that is 200. And the last one, you can assess your learning again by practicing these questions that is showing on the screen, and you can find the approximate value of this. You may pause the videos to calculate it, and if you have tried it, let's see what are the answers of this. Here we have the answers on the screen. You may match the answers with your correct, whether you are getting same or it's different. Congratulations if you got the same answers. Thank you for watching. See you.